Hi, welcome to Hikate's Crossing as we continue our exploration of the magical Nordic tarot. Now, you saw in the last two videos, the first one was with the magical Nordic tarot with the Nordic compass. That's the spread that we're doing, okay? So the first video was the magical Nordic tarot. The second one, I included the YGGDRASIL Oracle, okay? And so now I want to add runes. Now, you could use a set of runes if you wanted to. You could use a rune cards. Whatever you want to do, it's totally up to you. Now, I'm going to use Nina's deck, Rune Spiral. Okay, so I'm going to use her guidebook because I do find her guidebook absolutely brilliant. I don't know a lot about runes. It's not been something I've studied. I haven't really memorized the rune meanings or anything like that. So we are going to sort of go through the book. So let's have a look as we sort of add a rune to each position. Okay, so the first one is the present situation. We talked about being in control, being the leader, having that sense of always feeling like we've got to make a decision, we've got to perform, you know, sorry. We always feel everything's our responsibility to stuff. Okay, so that's the first card we're going to think about here. So let's shuffle. Oh, I felt that one there. So let's add that. The second card we're looking at is work and money, finances and things like that. Now with money and finances, we're told that things are shaken up. Things are not going to be quite what we expected. But it does give us the chance to create a sense of a new ground. It gives us a chance to build new foundations, to sort of grow and develop in regards to work. Even though things are being shaken up, things are not quite what we expect, but it does give us the chance to expand and grow in regards to work. So that's the rune card there. The next one was relationships in the West, right? So we had that thing of someone new coming in. There was a reconciliation. There was that whole thing was coming together. So it's a reminder to be honest with those that are coming into our life. That's youthful energy. Someone coming in who could be a bit younger than us. So we need to be truthful. We need to reconnect with honesty. We don't be judgy with them. You know, we just need to be really honest and with who we are and what we're about. So that's card number 3. The last one was the outcome. Now, the outcome told us that things aren't going to be quite the way we want to. The way things, things are not going to quite work out the way we want them to. And it could be because there could be a lack of communication. We haven't been able to communicate our fears, what we desire, what's expected of us, and that sort of thing. So that's rune number 4. Okay, so let's have a look and see what rune number 1 is. Rune number 1 is Elders. Okay, Elders, which is 15. Okay, which talks about being protected. So we need to make sure that we're protected, as we know that things, we've got to grow and we've got to expand. We're feeling we're responsible. We've always got to perform. So we do need to make sure that we are protected, that we have a refuge, a sanctuary that we can return to. So let's have a look and see what she actually says. This rune literally means elk. Okay. The rune even looks like the antlers of an elk. Elders is a primary rune of protection. So in this card, the elk is protected and hidden by a berry bush. Okay. This rune is best for defense and protection of the individual as group. Elders also carries within it the ability to nurture as well as protect, and it carries the continuity of the life force. Protection also makes it a very positive rune. So it tells us that because we're always feeling like we're overwhelmed, we've got a lot going on for us right now, we do have to provide ourselves a bit of a sanctuary, a bit of a place that we can go and recharge our energy. This feels like that's quite important here. It does allow us to connect to the higher realms, of awareness. It allows us to communicate with other realms and other parts of ourselves. So it does help us listen to ourselves, our body. Maybe we're feeling like everything's overwhelming, everything's a bit too much for us. So this allows us the sense of sanctuary, a sense of protection from the outside world. Interesting card to look at there. Okay, so position number 2 we talked about was money and finances. Now, money and finances, we did talk about things not being quite the way we want them to, being a bit wobbly, a bit shaken up, but it does remind us that we can have that sense of gaining new ground, we can have that sense of building foundations. Now, we've got Perthro here. Perthro. Okay, so let's have a look and see what Perthro is all about. Okay, it talks about fruit. A vessel, cup, some form of gaining, fun. So we're talking about things. Okay, so we're talking about money and finance. We're talking about things not being quite the way we want to. We want to gain new ground, but it's also reminding to take some time out for ourselves in regards to having some fun. Okay. For Perthro, I had to portray the 3 Norns, who are powerful maiden giantesses, who sit by the well at the roots of the world tree. The Perthro rune. Okay. So again, we get the Norns, even though it's not in the same card, even though that was in the providing card, the provider, the responsibility, we have it again in regards to money and finances here. The 3 Norns, who are powerful maiden giantesses, who sit by the well at the roots of the world tree. The Perthro rune symbolizes Orlog, the energy that controls your fate. The Norns are weaving the threads of weird that were spun and woven before we came into existence. The threads that weave our fate in life and control the powers of cause and effect. The Norn Erd, what once was, represents the past, what is coming into being, and finally, so that was Verdandi, and then finally the Norn's gold, what shall be, represents the future. Perthro represents the well of Erd, which contains all that was, and all that is, and all that will be. All knowledge is contained within Perthro. So again, we get that sense of understanding, that knowledge coming through, so we can move where we need to be. We can gain new ground, we can build new foundations. It's talking about secrets, it's talking about there's a large destiny. So it tells us that there's more to come, more to be revealed. So it tells us to have a little bit of fun. It does give us that sense of having a bit of fun. You know, it does remind us to sort of, again, we get that sense of sanctuary, that sort of taking some time out for ourselves with everything that's going on. So with money and finances and feeling like we're overwhelmed by all that, we feel like it's too much, everything's shaky and wobbly. It reminds us to sort of have some fun with life, to know that everything's sort of going to come together. It's going to be a-okay, even if things are not quite the way we expect them to. Okay, so let's have a look at the relationship side of things. Okay, relationships, like I said, you've got that young person coming in. Maybe you've got a reunion of some sort. Maybe you're feeling like a bit of a teenager. There's that flirty energy. So you have to be honest with what's going on. You have to be honest for yourself. You have to be honest with the other person. Now, the card we get is Thurisaz. Okay, Thurisas. Feels like there's a lightning bolt in understanding. Feel like you've got Odin there. Thor there, I said. Sorry, Thor with the hammer. So let's have a look here with number 3. Whoops. So let's have a look. Thorn giant. Okay, protection, distraction, defense. So we're talking about relationships. So we might be feeling conflicted. There might be some resistance. It's important to have that sense of feeling like you're protected. Okay, Thor is the almighty god of thunder in Norse mythology. Thor's hair and beard were red, and he was considered the strongest of the gods. He is the son of Odin and the giantess Yor, the giantess of earth and soil, land and crops. Durasaz is an old Germanic word for giant, or Jotun in Old Norse. Being a giant rune, you can see how well Thor fits the Durasaz rune, especially as this is a fire element rune and represents the forces of chaos. The Norse giants are well known for the chaos they wreak and for the fact that at the beginning they appeared out of chaos of fire and ice. Durasaz is a destructive rune, especially as seen in nature, and could be represented as giants on a rampage. So you do need, so this is a rune of protection as well as destruction, symbolized by brambles and thorny bushes that provide boundaries. So it's a reminder that with this relationship, whatever it is, it's important that you are honest and that there are boundaries and you protect yourself in some way, and that comes through with the honesty. I think if you're truthful of the situation, you're going to feel much more protected. You're going to have the boundaries that you need. I think that's going to be super, super important. Okay, so last one was that sense of the outcome, right? And it said that things weren't going to go quite the way you want them to, and it could be because of a lack of communication. So you're not going to get the hope, you're not going to have the dreams, things are not going to go quite the way that you want them to. Now, and that could be because you've got this lack of communication. You're not communicating clearly what you desire, what you want out of life. Okay, and so we get Queeth. Okay, so we're going into the Anglo-Saxon runes here. Okay, because this is number 30. So we're going into the Anglo-Saxon runes here. So you're getting a little bit of extra here. So card number. So this is the runes of the Jotnar, or Anglo-Saxon. So this is where you've got the 9 runes of the Jotnar, also known as the Anglo-Saxon Firthric. I was introduced to these, so Nina was introduced to these runes by Ingrid Kincaid and Galana Kraskova. So you've got to read the 2 books. Okay, she hasn't worked extensively with these, but the books are instrumental in helping to form my understanding and your card meanings too. Okay, so got that. Okay, so we're up to number 40. 30, I mean. Card number 30. Ritual Fire, Funeral Pyre. Okay, so we're talking about rebirth. So like I said, things are not going to quite work out the way you want them to. It could be because there's a lack of communication. And so we're talking now, it's about rebirthing. Allowing ourselves to have that sense of internal life. This rune signifies the cleansing flame, so we can let go of what was and bring transformation to the situation. So things didn't quite work out the way we wanted them to. Okay, because we didn't communicate clearly. So now it's time to give that sense of rebirthing, renewal, allow ourselves to transform by clearing away, by burning the past, whether that, done in a ritual type of sense. A funeral pyre serves to liberate the spirit from the material body so it can be reborn in a new way. Queeth is a rune of purification and destruction. It burns away everything that needs purifying in your life and stripping it back to only what is necessary. This is an intense cleansing, untamed fire acting according to its nature. I choose the giant Surt with his burning sword for this card. Surt represents the home of all fire in Mispelum, the fire world. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so it is, when you look at that, when you're talking about things not being quite the way we want them to, you're not going to get that happy fairy tale ending because you didn't communicate what you wanted to. So you can burn away the old. So you can have that rebirthing, that sense of renewal, the transformation that you need in your life. What an interesting way to look at this spread in, as you add each layer to it. So I've really enjoyed sort of creating this series of video in regard to the Nordic compass spread, as we looked at the present situation, work and finances, relationships, and an outcome, an overall thing that we can do. So we can have that sense of rebirthing, we can communicate clearly what we want, we can change the outcome to something we desire. Interesting cards. Okay, so that's it from me. Don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care. Blessed be.